What's going on, guys? This is Lanze Avellanoza, and today we're going to talk about globalization, how it affects our businesses, and also benefits and challenges that we are facing when we're dealing with globalization. Disclaimer: I'm not going to be using any scripts here. I don't like having scripts. I'm just going to be using my own words. I'm gonna be explaining all the details in my own words, and yeah, I also have a document here or my PowerPoint. You can definitely check all the details in case that you will be missing out some of the information. You can check my PowerPoint for more details about what I'm going to be talking about in here. All right, so I have here the reference. You can also see the link for my reference on that said PowerPoint. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video. So right now, um, let's start with the actual word itself, the globalization. What is globalization? So upon checking here, all right, so I do have here a reference, just like what I said earlier. Globalization refers to interconnectedness among countries through various relationships, from business, geopolitics, and technology to travel, culture, and the media. So basically, it's all about partnerships all around the globe. So let's say like Philippines. Also, I just wanted to say, guys, that everything I'm going to be saying here is going to be all about relating globalization to our daily lives. And as we are Filipinos who lives in the Philippines, we're gonna be connecting all of that idea, right? So let's say, for example, here in the Philippines, we have all these businesses. Globalization is all about sharing and interconnectedness of our businesses, our sales to other businesses on other countries. So Philippines is not attached to any other countries. Um, we are just one island um, under China, so there's no way that we will be able to do that with ease. So we need planes, we need boats, ships. I mean, so that we can do the interconnectedness with the other countries like China, Japan, and any other countries all around the globe. All right. So it's all about sharing the idea, geopolitics, business, technology, culture, media that we have here in the Philippines with other countries. So as we can see, most of our toys that being sell on the market are, we can see the brand on under that toy, or maybe in the back of that toy it says made in China, and we all know that, right? We all saw a toy that has that brand in it, so it's not new to us. So that's a great example of what I'm talking about here. So let's see what's written here. All right, so as per checking here, okay, imagine a pair of jeans in the mall with made in China tag. That's what I'm talking about. Imagine McDonald's stores springing up to Vietnam, Ukraine. All right, so here in the Philippines, not just for McDonald's, also for Jollibee. We all know that Jollibee is originated here in the Philippines, but we can see that Jollibee is now having a lot of branches all around the globe right now, like Saudi Arabia. We all know that. Um, that's one of the great example of that one. What else? Let me just check here. Imagine a doctor in Chicago reading the New York Times, in the Guardian, and Al Jazeera. Imagine a teenager in Poland listening to Rihanna at night and in the morning getting her Kanken back up ready for school. So basically, it's not really about products. It can also be those artists that are sharing their works to other country. So Rihanna, we all know that Rihanna is not a Filipino, but we still listen to their song, right? What else? We have Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran is not a Filipino as well, but we still listen to their song. That way, we are supporting their product. We're supporting their works. It's making them earning more money. You know what I'm saying? So that are one of the great example that we can have here. All right, so not just for importing products, we're also exporting products from the Philippines, especially in um, rice, eggs, a lot of agricultural products. We have those departments here in the Philippines that are exporting those products to other countries so that they can buy it here from Philippines. Also from oil. We all know that there are a lot of controversies about those oil that being exported to other country. So those are part of the globalization, right? So let's check it out. All right, so next thing that we were going to be talking about is how globalization affects businesses. All right, so as we're reading here, though, of course, multinational and they see globalization in every aspect of business, even smaller startups and entrepreneur led businesses will be impacted. Globalization affects businesses in a variety of ways. All right, so let's read them one by one. Let's start with increasing competition. All right, so increasing competition. There, we have here a lot of description. It's a long description, but I'm not gonna be reading them all. Like what I said, I'm just gonna be explaining it to you by my own words. I'm really sorry about my English. I'm not really good at English. All right, so increasing competition is all about those competition with many sellers. For example, let's say like those companies that are selling chocolates. So we all know that chocolates from other countries, or let's say imported chocolates, we all know that. For example, we have some relatives abroad, and they're gonna be having vacation here in the Philippines. They always have chocolates to bring with their fun families, right? And we all love those chocolates because they all taste really, really good. And that's one of the great example. And because of those imported chocolates, what will happen to our local companies here in the Philippines that are selling chocolates? They're also gonna do their best to make sure that they will be bringing good quality chocolates that will be at least, if they're not going to be better than those imported chocolates, they can meet those standards. So that's one of the effect, or the good effect of the globalization to businesses. They're increasing those competition, right? So the second one is opening larger and more diverse markets. All right, so that just simple means. By the way, guys, just want to let you know that you can also read the description on the PowerPoint. You can feel free to check that out if you're having a hard time trying to understand what I'm saying here. So, yep, let's move on. Opening larger and more diverse markets. That simply means opening more markets for those specific or particular products. For example, have you already been to a toy fair? So there are a lot of stores here in the Philippines and malls that are selling, toys to kids and those collectors um, who are Filipino as well. So what happened is because of the globalization, we are actually coming up with um, toy fair that's bigger market where all the toy stores are coming to one place and they are actually selling different variety of products to all of the consumers. So what's going to happen is that consumer will not be having to go to a lot of different places to look for a specific toy that they're looking. What can happen is those toy stores are going to be going to one single place. It's going to be like market fair wherein all the consumers will be going to that place only, and they will see all the stores for that specific toy that they're actually looking for. And that's one good way for marketing. All right, that's I can say that that's actually an advantage. All right, so let's move on to the third one. Increased flow of trade, capital, information, and people. So, yep, because of globalization, the flow of trade, capital, information, and people will be increasing. So, as per checking here, the DHL Global, Connectedness Index, in partnership with NYU's Stern School of Business, has identified these four elements as the four pillars of globalization connectedness. All these elements except capital saw moderate growth worldwide in 2018 because of globalization. It just means that because of globalization, the the flow with the trade, with the, you know what trade is, right? Like you are doing a barter. You know what barter means. So there, the flow of trade, the capital, information, and people are increasing, so they're having more connections with each other for every single market here in the Philippines, along with other countries here or all around the globe. All right, so the second one, yep, the second one is going to be sharing technology. So for sharing technology, that means we are all, sharing technology as what it explains itself. So let's say, for example, I was working in McDonald's, and I was a cook there, and I see that our machines are all high tech. That's what we call it here in the Philippines. The high tech means, the technology level is very very high. So let's say like the bun toaster. We have there a bun toaster. We call it HEBT. I forgot what it stands for, but so HEBD is actually a high-tech bun toaster, wherein we're just gonna be put the bun on the top, and then it will slowly go down. After exactly 26 seconds, it will release the bun. On the bottom, it's already toasted as fast as that. And HEBD is not originated here in the Philippines. Those machines are being imported from other countries. So um, that's one of the best example of sharing technology. We're sharing technology with along countries so that they can improve the way they how they produce their products. All right. So the next one is sharing knowledge. So same thing with sharing technology. We're also sharing knowledge with other countries. That way, we will be improving the way how we work with certain product, and also the efficiency of how we can actually produce them. So, for example, if we're doing the wrong way on producing one certain product, so it's taken us like 10 minutes to produce five of that product, with other countries sharing us with the good way or the right way on doing it, on how the more efficient way of doing it, that can improve our efficiency, and they can and our productivity on producing that product. So in 10 minutes we can actually produce like 15 or 20 items with that certain product. You know what I'm saying? So by sharing knowledge, it's going to be a lot easier for us to produce more or to do more with that specific services. All right, so the last one here is promoting a diverse workplace, the diversified workplace. So businesses operating globally attract employees from all over the world. They're likely to draw management staff from the countries where they maintain presence, and employ laborers in a country where labor is relatively affordable. Learning to manage and culturally diverse staff can be both benefit and a challenge to a multinational business. So promoting a diversified workplace, that means we are actually promoting the employment of people not just from that specific country but all around the globe. One good example of that one is the OFW here in the Philippines. We all know that we got a lot of OFW. That is because there's a lot of job opening on the other country that they can support employees or applicants from the Philippines. One good example of that one is the Saudi Arabia. So that is so popular here in the Philippines that once um, an applicant here in the Philippines applied abroad, it's always going to be Saudi Arabia, or not always, but going to be what's going to be one of the most common country that they are actually applying to. That is because it's going to be a lot easier for them to to get a job in Saudi Arabia. Then they're not going to be having those high standard for the qualification, so it's easy to apply there than the other country, such as Canada, such as Japan. They have a lot of qualifications before you can apply a job from those countries. So they choose the Saudi Arabia, right? And that's what it's talking about in here. It's just about employing people from a different country, not just from your specific country. right? So now we're going to talk about the benefits of globalization. The first one is increased flow of capital. That's one of the good, good benefit of globalization. That is because because you're not just going to be selling your product to your country, you're also going to be selling product to the other country as well. That means the flow of the capital will be increasing. You will be having more income because of that one, right? So do you think if Jollibee was not able to build more branch on other country, on other country, they're gonna be gaining more capital than what they're getting right now? No, of course not. They're not gonna be gaining those a big capital if they're just gonna having those branches here on the Philippines only. All right, because Philippines, let's admit it, Philippines is one of the smallest country all over the world. So if they're just going to be having those stores here in the Philippines, they're not going to be gaining that much product. That much income as what they're having right now. So because they were able to implement the globalization, like they able to build stores outside the country, they were able to get more income, like double or triple it. Right? That's one of the benefit of that one. The second one, the number two, is better products at lower prices. So that means you can definitely afford better products at lower prices. Yeah, just like what the title says. So better products means you're able to get those products with better quality, such as if for example on other country like uh, let's say Japan. I'm not quite sure about this. They might be having less of the agriculture what would I say it is agricultural products because they have more on technology. So what they do instead is they're just going to be buying agricultural products from the Philippines so that they're going to be having the balance numbers of those products. For example, for rice grains, corn, oil, eggs, and a lot of different agricultural products, they can be just buying that from the Philippines so that they're not going to be running out of those specific products. All right. And that way they can have better products since they're actually made naturally here in the Philippines, like unlike on other countries. For example, they are building um what do you call that, like meats that are not really came from an animal. Like have they have this tiny meat, and what they're gonna do is they're gonna reprocess it on their machines and computers, and what's gonna happen is that meat will grow into bigger numbers, or bigger amount. So that's not the natural way of doing it. And if you're gonna be consuming those meat, you're not gonna be sure that they are safe at all, right? But if they're gonna be buying it from Philippines, we can ensure that they're buying better products because they are real meat, came from the animal, and it was produced naturally. That's what I'm talking about. And also they can buy it for lower prices since we really didn't have to use big machines like computers to produce those meats because they are produced naturally. That's what I'm saying, right? Number three is collaboration and shared resources, right? So that means we can collaborate with other countries. For example, if we have here a company selling milk, we can collaborate with other countries saying some certain stuff to produce cheese, right? So we can have collaboration with other country and share our resources to them, and they're gonna be coming up with a whole new product. So a product from, for example, from China and product from Philippines, we're going to use them as a raw products and come up with a brand new product, and they can sell it for a bigger amount of price, right? Number four is cross cultural exchange. So this one is um, all about exchanging the way how you're actually doing your actions, or the way on how you actually producing your products or your services, right? So for example, just like what I said earlier, uh, if you're doing or producing a product here in the Philippines, and then um, there are some markets on other country that knows how to do it better, it's gonna be the best way is to use globalization so that they can share those practices, those better practices, or better cross-cultural practices to Philippines, so that we can also apply it to the way on how we're actually producing it. That way we can produce more, we can do it better, provide better quality, and that way we can earn more money from it, right? And that's one of the best um, benefit of the globalization. So we have here the next one is gonna be spread of knowledge and technology. So spread of knowledge and technology is just like what I said earlier. We're not gonna just gonna be working for ourselves. If we're able to implement globalization to our markets, our sales, we're definitely gonna be having more knowledge and technology. For example, if Filipino producers know something better, and American producers don't know it, what we can do is we can share those knowledge to other, or those technology to American producers, so that they can benefit from it, right? And also, if there is something that American producers know that we don't know, they can also share it to us, so that we can better produce our products with better efficiency, and it's gonna be good quality, right? So that's one of the good example. What we don't have, they're gonna share it to us, and what they don't have, we can share it to them, and there's gonna be exchange or spread of knowledge and technology. That way, we can earn more money from it, right? So the number six is quick technological advances. So quick technological advances, that just means like you are actually getting better and better when it comes to technology, right? Because if, for example, if you have a milk tea shop, you're just gonna use the cap on how you cover your milk tea cup. If you have better knowledge about it, or better technological advances, you might be buying what do you call that one? Like, there's a machine wherein it actually has plastics on it. Then you're gonna put the cup, and you're just gonna pull the lever, and then when the cup comes out, it already has plastic cover on top of it. So that's one of the great examples. You know what I'm saying? So the number seven is increased household income. So of course, if businesses on Philippines will be getting more income, other households can benefit from it, right? You know how economy works. The more that those businesses are getting bigger, the more that we can have more money from it as a whole with our economy. All right, number eight is increased open-mindedness and tolerance. That means um, we are being open to a lot of certain stuff. For example, if Filipinos don't believe that this is gonna happen, because we already had proof from other countries, we're going to believe on that one, and we're going to have more tolerance on some certain things. All right, so here are the challenges of globalization. Number one is exploitation. That just simply means we have a long description for that one, but the simple way to explain it is, not having fair treatment to their employees, especially if you're implementing globalization. We know that we have OFW being sent abroad. We already have a lot of news wherein those OFW are being mistreated abroad, right? Like they're actually prioritizing their local employees than Filipino employees that came from the Philippines. So that's one of the example of exploitation. So, by the way, these are the challenges of globalization, right? These are the difficulties that we are facing when dealing with globalization. The second one is high investment cost, because we are now going to be including the businesses from other countries. We don't have our currencies are not balanced. Like in $1, it's going to be costing us 50 pesos already. So that is resulting to high investment cost. Number three is confusing local systems. So basically, if worker here in the Philippines are going to be sent abroad, what's going to happen is they will be more confused with their system because they're not really their local job. So what's going to happen is it's going to be more difficult for them to navigate these systems, and may lead to impediments in expanding to new countries and severe difficulties when trying to learn those stuff abroad, because like I said, it's not their local systems. It's going to be the local systems of that country, for example Japan, right? The number four is weak regulation. um, that just means when you are going to be exchanging products from the Philippines to other countries, what's going to happen is it's going to be really hard for us to regulate our our products, since we're actually not going to be managing just the local stores, but also we're going to be managing our products being sent abroad. So it's going to be hard for us to regulate all of this stuff, especially if we have weak management. Number five is immigrant challenges. So immigrant challenges, just like what I said earlier, just this is just all about those, for example, those OFW being sent abroad. It's kind of hard for them to work there because it's not their local country, right? um, Compared to when they're actually working here in the Philippines, it's going to be a lot easier for them to adjust to our culture, the way we live, the way we think, because it's a lot different when they go abroad. So those are the immigration challenges. And lastly, the localized job lost. So that just means when those OFW go abroad, what's going to happen is there will be you know more job loss here in our own country, right? Or if we are actually going to be hiring employees from other countries, for example, if we let China businessman to work here on the Philippines, it's less likely that they will be employing Filipinos as their workers. Of course, they're going to be prioritizing their other Chinese people as well, resulting to localized job loss. So those are gonna be the details that I just want to explain with when it comes to globalization. Well, sorry about my language. English is not my primary language, of course. I'm a Filipino, but I just want to explain it this way. So I don't think it's gonna be hard for me to do it. Well, yep, that's gonna be the um, that's gonna be the details I want to talk about for globalization. And I hope you enjoy my video. Again, if you have any questions in mind, you can definitely check out my PowerPoint. You will see all the details there. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.